Reavers of Midgard, the card game from Gray Fox Games. There is your designer. Let's flip this over and see the back. There's all your components, 30 to 60 minutes, 14 up, 2 to 6 players. There's all that information. In Reavers of Midgard, the card game, you take on the role of a Viking ship captain, trading and raiding through the towns of the Nordic coastline. Collect valuable spoils and tales of your exploits. So there's an example of all the components. I will say we have the Kickstarter edition, so some of this is going to be upgraded, as you'll see once I get inside. Alright, so let's get this box open. First thing we have are player screens for the different player colors. Like so, there's a green one there. Let's give you a quick look in here. So it shows you the game round, flip supply cards, stock locations, play destination cards, activate location abilities, collect, and you move Bjorn to 2-player variant only. Here's your endgame scoring and negotiations. Here you have your scoreboard. Then we get into the rule book. Let me just get this stuff out of the way. There we go, rule book. So the whole little spiel again, your components. So again, we have the upgraded bits. So you have score tokens, player ships, coins. We have metal coins. These tokens, we have wood bits for that. Wood bits for the solo terror tokens. You'll see all that. Here's the game setup. How to play. Location actions. More of the location actions. End of round, end game. The 2-player variant rules, it's not required, but it is a suggestion for them. So let's go into here. So this is your score tokens. Typically you would just use your player boat at the end of the game, but this comes with score tokens, and you have your 50 and 100 sided ones. And you'll see they're shaped for the different shapes on the flag. You then have those boat tokens that you'll be placing out when you select locations. First player marker is this punchboard sword. And here are those metal coins. As you can see, some nice etching and detail. And then you have your gold is your slightly different finish on it, coloring. Here's your wood farms. Here's your towers. Here's your walls. And then here are your terror tokens. Those are pretty cool. And then we have the big ones that are worth 5 in there. You have your weapon die. So you got a terror side, you got a blank side, you got a card grabbing side. Down here you have your cards for your different locations. There we go. You'll see a little letter up there. This one's always in play. And then typically the numbers will be your player counts. So you'll have that in these 3 in a 2 and 3 player game. Then if you have a 4, a 5, and a 6, or you can shuffle these up and lay them out how you like. But there's those location cards. And then on the top you're going to put these actions. Dink, 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 and dink. This one automatically already goes on that rock slide or rock slide, whatever it is. And these other ones can get mixed up and put on the other ones. You actually are supposed to match up the art. That's right. The art will match up to which ones they go on. I have random on my brain, so sorry. So now we have a bunch of cards because this is the card game. So you have your spoils. I'll lay those out for you, at least an assortment of them, because you have a lot of duplicates of like the armor and such. But I'll at least show you all those different ones. These are promo Reavers that came with the Kickstarter edition. And then in here you have a big old deck of Reavers. Reavers, Malcolm Reavers. I'll get those laid out. Then if you look in this, you're going to notice the different colors. It's because each player gets a set of cards for each location, and that's how they choose where they're going to go. Come on, there we go. And 6. So that is what all those different location ones are, with all the different colors and icons on the back. And then this is how you spawn what's at each location. I'll lay these out as well. So I'll be right back with those laid out, and those laid out, and those laid out. Alright, so here are your spoils cards. There's a bunch in each stack. So there's a varying amount, but there's a ton of armor. And then at the bottom you'll kind of see, how it scores. You're trying to get a bunch of armor. And then you have art. And then you have banner or tapestries, which wants you to have different tapestries to get your points. And then you have just treasure. And then you have the weapons, which makes you roll a weapon die, and then you're going to be getting points. These are the supply cards. These are going to tell you what to put on each area during the supply phase. And then you have your Reavers. Again, these are in stacks. So a lot of them were basically 4, but there were some that were a little bit more than 4. But here are your Reavers. So there were the cards in Reavers of Midgard, the card game. Let's get to how this game plays. Alright, we are set up for a 2-player game of Reavers of Midgard, the card game. So each person is going to select a color. I have chosen green. I'd be going against blue. Each person gets a set of 7 destination cards. I have just given myself the 4 for the 4 locations that are present. They get their score token, their ship token, and because we have the deluxe one, you have an actual score token. Otherwise, you just have the 50 and 100. I am going to be the first player. You're going to set up the location cards in the middle. You always start with Roskilde, and then you put its action marker on it on the A side. I have chosen 1, 2, and 3. Alternatively, you can shuffle all of them and just choose 3 for a 3-player game. But I've gone with these, and then you match up the picture on the back to the picture there, again putting it on its A side. You're then going to create a supply with all of the coins, the farms, the walls, the towers, and the terror tokens within reach of all players. The terror tokens are here off screen. There they are. Going to shuffle the Reaver deck, put it near Roskilde, flip over 4 next to the deck to form the market. You're going to shuffle the spoils deck and place it nearby with the weapons die near it. You're going to shuffle the supply cards, randomly return 2 of them to the game box, place the remaining 10. That is a timer for the game. We'll play over 10 rounds. And then you are going to have to start player B, who was most recently on a boat. The 2-player variant for this has you involved with Bjorn, which would be adding a step. And if you are playing with that one, then grab a ship of an alternative color and leave it set to the side for now. The first step of every round is adding resources to locations. So you're going to flip over the top resource card, and you're going to be adding resources to the various locations. First thing you're going to do is you're going to add coins to resources to locations that have coins, doing that 1 time. So this one has 1 coin. This depicts 2 coins. This depicts 2 coins as well. Then going down, any of them that have walls. So this one has a wall. This has a wall as well. Any of them that have towers, tower, and tower. You're going to flip the token for Roskilde. And then if I was on, say, this location, you would flip that tile as well. It's the first round of the game, so you do not. Simultaneously, each player will look at their location cards and will secretly choose 1 location. And then each player will reveal it. Once it's revealed, you'll move your ship to that location. So we'll go there, and we'll say they went to Tonsberg. So you could always put them up that way as well. You'll then activate the action at your location. In this instance, there's nothing for me to do. This one is basically selling 1 of those tokens for that amount of coins. This would be spending 3 coins to get rid of a terror token, and this would be take a terror token to take a spoils card. Then anyone who is alone will take all the stuff below it and put it behind their screen. So they would get this stuff over to there. If we had both gone to a location, so if they would have come with me to Bjorgvine, we would add a terror token to the loot. We would then negotiate to who gets what from this location. If we cannot come to a accord, then this goes away. We each get a terror token, and that stays there for a future round. One other thing could happen is if this had a spoils card, and I got this, it has the weapon icon, which means you will now roll the die. If it comes up that side, you will get a terror token. If it comes up that side, you will get a spoils card. Again, you will also keep these behind along with any loot that you do gather as hidden information to be revealed at the end of the game. All this is depicted on your player aid, how the game round goes. So in a 2-player, when using the Bjorn variant, what is going to happen is, after you activate locations, collect rewards, you're going to pass the start player token, and then Bjorn will get put on the leftmost location. So in a future turn, he'll just keep moving and going around, and then if you ever go to a location that has Bjorn, you will take a terror token. Player order matters that when you activate the locations, you are going to do it in player order. So for example, if we were both here, and I had the first player token, this top one is take a terror token to purchase a Reaver card. I would then have priority. I would do it first, and then the next player would go. If I did buy one, the next one gets flipped over. There's this instance, though, where you can refresh the market and then buy 2. I would buy both before the market is replenished. The other thing is that your location card stays out till the next turn because you need to move to another location. So next turn, I would not be able to stay in Bjorgvin. I'd have to change locations with a different location card, and then in that instance, Bjorgvin would come back to my hand, and I can go to it in a future round. You're going to be playing this until all the cards, supply cards, have been flipped over. Then at the end of that round, you're going to grab out the scoreboard. Let's just shove all that aside. Bring out the scoreboard. Then, if you do not have the deluxe version, you're going to grab your player marker and put it there. Otherwise, you'll grab your score marker and start at 0. And then you are going to score points thusly. You're going to get 1 glory for each farm. You're going to get 2 glory for each wall, 3 for each tower, and then every complete set is an additional 4 glory. Your spoils cards have glory on them for specific things. Armor wants you to get as many armor as you can. The weapons, like the bows and arrows, are a straight 5 points. Art wants you to get 3. The banners, the tapestries, we're wanting 3 different. And then your treasure is when you get 4 of them. Your Reavers are going to be giving you points. So you are going to count up how many helms you have of red, how many helms of yellow. You are going to multiply those together, and that will be how much glory you get from your Reavers. Some of the Reavers also have bonus ones, such as this one is scored 2 points for each farm. So you'll be scoring all points for your Reavers. That is shown right here. Each coin is a half a glory, and then you're going to lose points based on terror tokens. The player with most total glory wins. If there is a tie, then you're going to break ties thusly. First one is most Reaver cards, then most spoils, then most raid tokens, most terror tokens. There's still somehow a tie, then they share the victory. So that is how you play Reavers of Midgard, the card game. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.